So our client is currently wearing athletic clothing that will not affect her posture at all. So we're going to start off with her location of center of pressure, which is currently about midfoot. And now we're going to begin with the segment alignment. So the marker line is going to start at her ear. It's going to drop to the ground, and we're going to measure the distance from the joint to the marker line. So we're going to start off with her ankle joint, which is about 3 centimeters behind the marker line. We're going to move up to the knee joint now, 4 centimeters in front of the marker line. Next we're going to go to the hip joint, about 4 centimeters in front of the marker line. Next we're going to move into the lumbar spine, 7 centimeters behind the marker line. Next we're going to move on to the shoulder joint. That is 4 centimeters in front of the marker line. And the cervical spine is about 5 centimeters behind the marker line. Do the pelvis attitudes, which is going to place one finger on her anterior pelvis bone and the other on her posterior pelvis bone. And I'm going to look, and she looks like she's anterior as her front pelvis bone is lower than the back. Okay, so now we're going to move on to her frontal plane. So I'm going to get my client to turn facing forward. We're going to first look at her center of pressure, which from the looks of it is medial. Marker line at her nose and hanging it down to the ground. So we're going to start off with her chin, which is in line with the marker line. Sternal notch, which is also in line with the marker line. Now we're going to move down to the xiphoid, which again is in line with the marker line. And now down to the navel, 1 centimeter to the right of the marker line. Now we're going to move to her pubis, which looks like it is in line with the marker line. So now we're going to do the pelvis obliquity. So I'm going to get her to place 1 finger on each anterior pelvic bone. The right pelvic bone is higher than the left. Our client is now wearing a backpack, which will affect her posture. So we're going to start off with looking at her location of center of pressure, which is now on her heels. We're going to start with the sagittal plane, marker line at her ear and down to the ground. We're going to start off with the ankle joint. The ankle joint is about 9 centimeters behind the marker line. Knee joint is about 4 centimeters in front of the marker line. Next, we'll go to the hip joint. About 3 centimeters in front of the marker line. Now to the lumbar spine, which is about 6 centimeters behind the marker line. Her shoulder joint now is about 1 centimeter behind the marker line. And her cervical spine is about 4 centimeters behind the marker line. Now we're going to do her pelvis attitude. So I'm going to get the client to place 1 finger on her anterior pelvis bone and another finger on the posterior pelvis bone. Now it looks like the anterior pelvis bone is lower, so she is anterior. And now we're going to move on to the frontal plane. So I'm going to get my client to turn forward. And we're going to start off with location of center of pressure, which the center of pressure is medial. I'm going to start off by placing the marker line from her nose hanging down to the ground. And we're going to look at her chin first, which is in line with the marker line. We're going to move down to her sternal notch, which again is in line with the marker. And we're going to now move down to the xiphoid, which again is in line with the marker. And her navel is 1 centimeter right of the marker line. Pubis is actually in line with the marker line as well. So now we're going to get her to the pelvis obliquity. So I'm going to get her to place 1 finger on her right pelvis bone and the other finger on her other pelvis bone. And it actually now looks like her left pelvis bone is lower than the right.
In conclusion, the backpack did affect our client's posture. In the sagittal plane, we noticed that her center of pressure was slightly more towards her heels, where before the backpack was placed on her back, it was midfoot. We also noticed that the distance from the plumb line to her lumbar spine and to her shoulder joint was also greater towards the back of the plumb line. In the frontal plane, we noticed that all the landmarks that were aligned with the plumb line were still aligned, and that all the ones that weren't aligned still, all measurements were the same. And we did not notice any difference between pelvis obliquity or her center of pressure from the frontal plane. It remains medial both with or without the backpack. In conclusion, all our observations that were different were found in the sagittal plane when the backpack was placed on our client.
Our client will now be laying down with the legs straight in active clothing. So we will be measuring her active and passive range of motion for her hip, her left hip. So can I touch you? Alright. So I'm gonna grab her left leg and I'm gonna flex it with her knee and her ankle relaxed. Can you go any more? Any more? Oh, any more? Okay. Alright. So her hip is flexed 125 degrees. We will now be measuring the flexion of her hip with her knee extended. So keep your legs straight and we'll bring it forward. One more, one more, and one more, and alright. So her hip was flexed 122 degrees. We'll now be doing the active range of motion. So can you please bring your left leg up and keep your knee relaxed and your ankle relaxed and bring it forward as much as possible. Keeping your right leg down as much as possible so it's not lifted off the ground. That down. So her hip was flexed 123 degrees. Now keep your legs straight and bring it up with your ankle relaxed. And make sure you keep your right leg down and work. Okay. Can you go forward more? Yeah, okay. Alright, you can put that down. Her hip was flexed approximately 110 degrees. So the client has now turned around so they can do the other leg. So we will now be redoing the same exercises on the right leg. So the first one is flexion with the knee and ankle relaxed. Can I touch you here? Alright. So I'm going to push you forward. Alright, so her hip was flexed 121 degrees. Alright, so now keep your legs straight and your ankle relaxed with your knee extended. Alright. So her right hip was flexed 110 degrees. We'll now be doing it actively as that was just passive. Alright, so you can take your right leg and bring it up. Keep your knee and ankle relaxed. Bring it far forward as you can. Is that it? Alright, so her right hip was flexed 125 degrees. Right, now keep your legs straight with your knee flat, your knee extended and your ankle relaxed and bring it forward. Alright, is that good? Yeah? Alright. Alright, you can put that down. So your right hip is flexed actively 103 degrees. So that was her hips range of motion. Actively and passively.
In conclusion, we did find that there was a significant difference in our client's active and passive mobility. The client was significantly less mobile during active mobility. When her leg and hip were flexed during passive mobility, our client's hip flexed 122 degrees, whereas it only flexed 110 degrees during active mobility. This is most likely a result of our client not having the strength to actively flex her hip, but she does have the flexibility in order to passively move her hip. For part B, we have chosen to use client A. We would use the same measurements on our client because the results will allow us to see what level our client is currently at and help us set a goal for the future. Dancing requires both passive and active mobility, and by using the same measurement, we'll be able to determine whether or not our client needs to focus more on his flexibility in order to improve his passive mobility, or his strength in order to improve his active mobility. The measurements will also allow us to alter our client's new stretching routine so it can help improve his overall mobility while dancing. In salsa, you need lots of hip flexibility, so also by using these measurements, we can see where he's at and how he needs to improve in order to be the best he can be at salsa.
So today I'm going to be looking at my client's balance and joint stability, and I'm going to be performing a STAR excursion balance test. I'm going to get my client to stand on a fixed position. So my client's going to stand on her left leg and lift her right, and first she's going to extend her right leg as far as she can in the anterior position. I'll basically right down. Now in the posterior medial position and the posterior lateral position. Anterior position, she extended her leg 76 centimeters. The posterior medial position, she extended it 91 centimeters. And in the posterior lateral, she extended it 89 centimeters. So now we're going to conduct a passive range of motion test on her left ankle, because this is the foot she was standing on during her balance and joint stability test. So I'm going to get her to bend her knee forward, keeping her ankle on the ground, and now using the goniometer, I will measure. Okay. Her ankle was flexed 38 degrees.
The results from the Y-balance test are as follows. The anterior was 76 centimeters, the posterior medial was 91 centimeters, and the posterior lateral was 89 centimeters. The results for the ankle range of motion test was 38 degrees dorsiflexed. The range of motion test results did help explain the Y-balance test, because during the Y-balance test, she could reach out far with her right leg while still balancing on her left foot, and in the range of motion test, she was able to dorsiflex her ankle a great deal. We chose to do the ankle range of motion test on her left foot because it was directly related to the Y-balance test done on her left foot. We chose to do the passive test because it was measuring the degree that the ankle could dorsiflex, while the active test measured how far forward her ankle could dorsiflex. We chose to do the ankle range of motion because in the Y-balance test, it all depended on how much range of motion her left ankle had. One piece of constructive feedback that I have for Tegan, who was the presenter in the first part for the video assignment, is that she talked in a monotone-like way, so she could have had a little bit more enthusiasm about it and the information that she was presenting. To improve this, she could become more interested in the topic that she was talking about, or learn more about it so that she can enjoy it, and that might have made her feel more comfortable about what she was talking about, so she could talk about it with more enthusiasm.
So I'm providing feedback for Leah. As she was speaking, I thought she had good tone of voice, as well as eye contact towards the camera as she was speaking. If I had to provide feedback, I think she could improve on her fluidity. As she would speak, there'd be slight pauses in between. She wouldn't use words such as or and stuff like that, but she would have slight pauses in between, so I think that is an area for her to improve. In the future, in order for her to improve that, something she could do is maybe practice what she's about to speak a couple times more, just so that it's more fluid and there aren't awkward pauses in between.
I'm role C, so I will be getting feedback on presenter 3. For her, I feel that what she could work on the most would be probably her volume as well as her tone of voice. So she was a little bit monotone during her portion of the video, as well as kind of quiet. And I feel like the best way for her to improve these skills would be to maybe project her voice more, as well as maybe go into a room where there is less people. That way she doesn't have to worry about other people judging her, and she can talk as loud as she wants, and she can speak in a way that she wishes to speak, rather than feeling that she's being judged by other people in the room.